Okay, this is a quick under the hood look at the Grizzly G1026 Shaper. I've removed the top of the shaper. First, I removed the front leaf to reduce the weight and all the fittings on top because this unit is pretty heavy. It's about 200 pounds. I had my son come by, drop by, and he helped me pick it up and flip it upside down on this sawhorse so I could work on it. I was having problems with the raising the quill. It would go down, but it wouldn't go up. It would just stick and catch. After trying everything I could with the top in place, I couldn't figure it out, so I threw my hands up in the air and pulled the top, and turned out this worm gear was totally jammed up in wood chips and sap and stuff. So cleaning that solved the issue that was at hand. If I had known that that was the problem, I could have probably, while the top was still in place, got under there with a long like toothbrush or something and some compressed air and cleaned that off without going through all this effort. But as long as I had it out, I went ahead and pulled the worm gear. Very easy to do. 3 Allen bolts here, and it comes straight out. There's a sleeve bearing, so I greased that. I cleaned this good, light coat of grease, and then replaced it. It can't be done with the top in place because the hole in the front of the cabinet's not big enough to accommodate this fitting, which is about 2 3/4 inches in diameter. I am considering cutting a 3-inch hole, so I'll have access, but hopefully I'll never need to get in there again. This is the bottom of the lead screw. There's one bearing in here that should never go bad because it's a sealed bearing. Should basically last forever. Driven this gear, drives the lead screw, makes it go up and down on these dovetails. Very common construction. This is the gib. It runs the entire length of the casting. It has 4 adjustment points, 3 and 4, and it's a standard gib adjustment if you've ever done them. It's not very difficult. You just kind of shoot for as tight as you can and have smooth operation. You don't want to be loose and you don't want to be too tight, so you just have to kind of play with it, try to keep them even. The shaft or quill lock basically is just screws in here and pushes on that gib, and that's what locks the quill during use. As long as I had it apart, I went ahead and cleaned all the fittings. The motor mount rides on this rail. Took a coarse stone and lapped all the contact areas to make it easier to tighten the belt up. I also lapped all the faces I could get to on the slide. I didn't spend any real time, just knocking off the high points of the fairly rough fly cut surface. The quill can be removed easily with the top in place by removing the nut, and you must back out this screw because it's threaded through. So remove the nut, back this off about 1/2 inch, and then you'll be able to slide the quill right out. If you need to replace the bearings or whatever in here. The little indicator that sticks out the front of the cabinet, I've not found it very useful, but it bolts on here and goes through the cabinet and out the front. Quite heavy, so you'll need someone to help you pick it up and flip it upside down if you were to attempt something like this. Removing from the cabinet just the 4 corner bolts. This side had 2 shims under it, so it must not be completely square and level or whatever. So if you take your top off, watch for shims. Don't lose them, kind of remember where they went. The motor is heavy. I had to get myself a little bottle jack and some wood supports, made a little platform. I was able to take the pressure off the motor, remove the screws, lower it down a little bit, and wired it up to the rail there. And then after I had the top off, I was able to reach in there and pull it out. It does weigh about 80 pounds. It's quite beefy. I don't know, it feels like a heavy bag of concrete when you go to pick it up. So I wasn't able to do it through the access holes by myself because I just wasn't strong enough. I'm a 70-year-old skinny guy. I just couldn't reach out and lift it up. With the top removed, I was able to bend over and just lift it right out of there. So I think that's really all there is to say about it. I've been happy with my machine. I don't expect I'll have any more issues, but might be a good idea to blast some compressed air from time to time from underneath the cabinet. You can get up under there, stick your air gun there and blast it so that the wood chips don't jam this up like it did to me. So if you have one of these machines, good luck with yours.